Hello everyone, a very warm welcome to all of you. Today is Monday. I am Drishti and we are back again with you another session of current affairs of topics related to polity and governance. Let's get started. Right, so today we are going to discuss a couple of very important topics which were in news in past couple of weeks. So before we get started, I hope you know we started this new initiative for you where we give you a question related to your Seize the Mains, right? Daily the subjects we are covering with you in the session. Based on that, we give you a question and a little bit about the topic is discussed in the session about it, and then in evening you get another video where the whole answer for the question is discussed. So we have been getting tremendous response from you guys, and just to improve your answer writing skills, you can write the you can write the answer and post it on our website, for which the link you can find down below in the description box. Right, the question for today is depriving prisoners their right to vote. Prisoners their right to vote. Good afternoon, sir. Denying prisoners their right to vote undermines law and policy that is meant to rehabilitate and integrate prisoners. Comment. So it's a 10 marker question. You have to write the answer in 150 words, right? So the whole idea of prison reforms I have already discussed in detail. If you haven't seen the previous videos, please do watch them, right? There have been a couple of committees and all. A bit more we are going to discuss about prison and prison reforms today, right? So index dekh lete hain aaj ka, what all topics we are going to discuss today. Now first topic that we are going to discuss today is of voting rights of under trial prisoners. So this is a burning topic right now, and recently Supreme Court has intervened in this topic, and there has been a debate going on that whether the prisoners who are awaiting their future, who are awaiting whether they will be sentenced or they will be set out free, are they eligible for voting or not, right? Second topic is related to your cultural issue. So see, in north language is not that big of a deal, right? Most of the people are Hindi speaking people. In a couple of different pockets we speak different languages. Say in Punjabi is spoken, but they are very much similar to Hindi. But in down south, language is a very important part of your culture altogether, and people associate their identity with their language. So in down south, in the state of Karnataka, a bit of tussle is going on related to the languages Tulu and Kodava. So we are going to discuss a couple of things about that. There has been draft Kannada language comprehensive development bill and how it is being challenged, what are the issues associated with it. We are going to discuss that. Then recently one nation, one police uniform, the idea for it has been promoted by Prime Minister Modi, and there are a couple of more issues related to it. We are going to discuss this in topic, and then we are going to discuss about late Shri Shyam Saran Negi ji, and he recently passed away, and may his soul rest in peace. So a couple of things we are going to discuss about him, right? Let's get started. Good afternoon everyone. Vaibhav, yes, the current affairs. See, current affairs in the morning what sir teaches you is a combined compilation, right? So sir takes Hindu daily fresh newspaper, he discusses topics related to various subjects, and this session of which we do at 2:30. So here we take the topics which are in news in past 10 to 1 week, okay, 10 days to 1 week, and for them our main focus is on both prelims as well as mains. And in morning the Hindu analysis which sir takes, there is a overall analysis of the topics that are going and how they are interrelated to other aspects of your preparation, right? Where can I find previous playlist of this video? See, there is a playlist made of it, the whole series that have been going on our channel itself. You can visit the YouTube channel and there you can find the playlist, right? Okay, chalo, let's get started. So the first topic that we are going to discuss is, recently Supreme Court has decided to examine a poll law which deprives the under trials and civil prison detainees their right to vote. The important part here is civil. Please note it down, it's civil. Criminal nahi hai, civil hai. There is a difference between criminal detainees and civil detainees. ठीक है, basic difference है. I hope that is clear to you, right? So सबसे पहला question that rises is, what is an under trial prisoner? See, under trial prisoner is someone who is awaiting the judgment, whose crime has not been proven yet or who hasn't been proven innocent yet. ठीक है, the person has not neither been proven guilty nor been proven innocent, so he is still awaiting the trial. So in the basic layman terms, that is what we call an under trial prisoner. Also, there was a particular definition about the under trial prisoner in 78th report of Law Commission, ठीक है, and here they say a person who is in judicial custody or on remand during investigation. In the investigation, that is also included in the definition of under trial. So you have to understand here, even the people who are in preventive custody, they come under the concept of your under trial prisoners, right? Vaibhav, I'll address your questions after the session if that's okay, right? Freedom, I'll address your questions after the session. Okay, let me complete the topics first. We'll get back to you again. Okay. Now, if you see the background about it, there was a petition which challenged the provisions in the election law which impose a blanket ban. Okay, altogether ban on under trials persons confined in civil prisons and the convicts who are serving their sentence in jails from casting their votes. Okay. So the point here is, the issue here is someone who might be innocent, whose right now crime has not been proven. ठीक है, तो how that person can be barred from casting their vote, which is the basic infringement of your fundamental rights. ये एक major issue निकल के आ रहा है. If we talk about ROPA is in Representation of People's Act, section 62. Section 62 of ROPA की बात करें, the section it mandates that no person shall vote at any election. No person shall vote at any election is if he is confined in a prison, whether under a sentence or if the person is under the process of transportation or in the custody of police. Again, this has been continuously seen in the direct conflict with your fundamental rights, article 14. Now prisons in India, they come under state subjects and governments, state governments के अंडर आता है. Also they are governed by your Prisons Acts 1984 and there are separate prison manuals of different states by which the prisons are governed, right? So every state has a different take on it. Now if we talk about state-wise data of National Crime Records Bureau, NCRB data की बात करें last year की, so UP has the maximum number of under trials in the country, followed by Bihar and then Maharashtra. ठीक है, उत्तर प्रदेश anyhow ये western UP belt में a lot of crime has been going on. It is known as the crime capital, infamously known as the crime capital. So there have been a lot of people who have been waiting for their judgment to be passed and they have been stopped from casting their vote. अब ये पूरा issue क्यों निकल के आ रहा है? Because there have been a lot of states, there are a lot of states where elections are due. For example, elections are due in Himachal on 12th of November. Himachal में crime record इतना नहीं है, but still there are elections due in a lot of states, and even this somehow relates to your vote bank politics, where people especially the politicians want ये जो major untapped chunk है of the voting populace that should take part in the elections. So ये petition file करी गई है. Let's see इसका answer क्या आता है. If we talk about challenges that are faced by under trial prisoners, so for example, if a person has committed a crime and the sentence that has been awarded, that will be awarded for it, for the respective crime is 5 years. Sometimes it happens that the prisoner has to wait for so long, the wait itself exceeds the sentence's limit. For example, here in this particular case, the wait itself exceeds your 5 years of time. So that has been seen as a major issue. Also, the amount of bail which is set for a person to come out of jail is too high, too much for an individual to bear. People who are from well-off families, the most popular case was that of Sanjay Dutt recently, okay? So they could pay it, but someone who belongs to a BPL category, middle class or a lower middle class, the amount of bail set is too high. So there also it hampers their basic dignity, right? तो ये एक issue निकल के आ रहा है. Now, if we talk about voting for preventive detainees, while prisoners they are not allowed to vote, people under preventive detention they can cast their votes through postal ballots. Postal ballots क्या होता है? Postal voting या फिर जिसको ballots बोलते हैं, these are also called electronically transmitted postal ballot papers, ETBP. Under this, the ballot papers are distributed electronically. Again, please remember, electronically to electors, and then they are returned to election officers via post. So via post they are returned to them. Now major issue यहाँ पे क्या आ रहा है? Why this is being argued? Here you are comparing, there is a direct comparison between people who have been detained just so that their crime could be decided, whether they have committed this crime or not, that could be decided, with the convicts who are out on bail, because already the convicts who are out on bail, they are eligible to cast their vote, right? They are eligible to cast their vote. Also, there is no as such particular classification about the whole subject, so there is a lack of regional classification. Also, as I already told you, this is directly in conflict with your Article 14, your fundamental right, right? What is Article 14? I hope basics you guys know of polity. Please mention it in comments. What is Article 14? Guys, I hope you have studied basics. What is Article 14? Wow. Okay. ठीक है. Thank you, Nisar. Right to equality. Now there are a large number of population who are not voting. Again, this is concerned something with the vote bank politics, so that has been a point of contention even amongst the politicians. That's why even politicians somewhere directly, not directly but indirectly, they have been pushing so that ये जो inmates, not the inmates, the prisoners, the under trials, they should be made a part of your voting populace. Recent improvements, if we talk about, there have been a couple of initiatives that have been taken in the judicial system. So there has been set up a virtual court system, particularly COVID के बाद this came into prominence, right? So here all the trials are undertaken digitally. Then there is a e-courts portal where the whole data, everything is stored regarding to courts, which cases are pending, which comes under which section, which ministry, which department, which sections are to be filed, everything is there. E-filing, if you want to file a case, for that also a proper setup has been made and things have become very simplified. Then there is National Judicial Data Grid, where all the states, the data of all the states, their High Court, Supreme Court have been put at one place altogether. It's easily accessible, even the common man can access it and get the basic knowledge of which case is at which status right now and when is the next trial due, right? Then there is another initiative that has been taken, which is known as National Service and Tracking Electronic Processes. So this is a centralized app basically for the bailiffs. Bailiffs किसको बोलते हैं? People who are particularly engaged in the services of the courts for taking the custody of the said prisoner or under trial, उसको particularly bailiff बोलते हैं. So what their duty is, they send your summons, they send the delivery of summons notices, they process any number of delays, any number of unreasonable delays, n number of unreasonable delays that happen during the trial period. So this is the particular app which was made for bailiffs. Then there has been E-Seva Kendra. E-Seva Kendra is one-stop center for accessing all facilities which has been provided under your e-courts project, particularly set up in your high courts and district court of each state. It was done on the trial basis and now it is under the process of being replicated in the whole country. Now then there is the talk of ICJS, Interoperable Criminal Justice System. So this is initiative of E-Committee basically to transfer data and information between different pillars of criminal justice system like police, jails, juvenile homes, forensic science laboratories and etc., which can be done hassle free. Okay? So the basic intention was to do all these things hassle free. Still Supreme Court has been intervening on it and we are waiting a judgment over it. Let's see whenever the result comes, and if there is any development in the topic altogether, we are going to discuss it again, right? Now let's come ahead to our move ahead to our second topic of the day. It's draft Kannada Language Comprehensive Development Bill 2022. So why this was in news? This was in news recently because speakers of Tulu and Kodava are the languages. I'll tell you right now what are Tulu and Kodava and why they are prominent, right? So they have opposed the draft of Kannada Language Comprehensive Development Bill 2022. I already told you North India में most of the states are Hindi speaking states. Dialects में difference हो सकता है, but the basic script is Devanagari. So there is not as such conflict North India में about the language, but down south every state has their unique languages, then they have different dialects, and then there are subsects of languages, and they are an important part of the identity of people who are living there, and that is something which is imposed on them is seen as a direct imposition on their right to freedom. ठीक है, तो details देख लेते हैं क्या है. Now कोडवा टक्के की बात करें, so I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing or mispronouncing the name. Now about कोडावा टक्के की बात करें, so this is a language which comes under Dravidian group. Dravidian group of languages के अंडर आता है, and this is the original language of Kodagu district in southern Karnataka. So Kodava comes from the word Kodagu. ठीक है, कोडागू से आया है सी, कोडावा, कोडागू in southern Karnataka. UNESCO already has listed it as one of the endangered languages. So also the important point is here there is no separate script, and traditionally this language is written only using the Kannada script. Now if we talk about 2001 census, 2011 की बात नहीं हो रही है, this is about 2001 census. If we talk about 2001 census, Kodava is spoken by less than 2 lakh people. So this is something which is worrisome, and people have been fighting a lot to save their language. Now if you talk about who are Kodavas, Kodavas are a small martial community, and again they live in Kodagu district. Kodagu district is in southern Karnataka. Basically they are a part of ethno-linguistic tribe, and they claim, ठीक है, it is said they are the original inhabitants of Kodagu, and occupationally they are the land owning agriculturists. Now this particular community has the rituals which revolve around guns and weapons like swords, and there is one more very interesting point. There was a special privilege provided to them, bestowed upon them, to own firearms without a license, because this also was seen as the very important part of their cultural heritage, right? Now if we talk about Tulu, दो languages का conflict चल रहा है, one is Kodagu and दूसरी is Tulu. Now Tulu is also a Dravidian language and it is spoken in two districts, two coastal districts, Dakshin Kannada and Udupi. Udupi of Karnataka, Dakshin Kannada and Udupi of district Dakshin Kannada and Udupi of Karnataka, and Kasargod district of Kerala. ठीक है, again down south. As per census, if we see, even the number of Tulu speaking people is very less in India. Also, some scholars they suggest that Tulu is amongst the earliest Dravidian languages and it is the most evolved one with a history of more than 2000 years. Now there was a European in early 19th century, Robert Caldwell. He said in his book that a comparative grammar of Dravidian or Southern Indian family of languages called Tulu one of the most highly developed languages of the Dravidian family. So Robert Caldwell has pointed out Tulu as one of the most evolved languages of the Dravidian family. Now what is the issue with the bill? Bill to ban gaya. Now this bill aims to ensure that the extensive use and propagation of Kannada provides, okay, there is a extensive use and propagation of Kannada. Also here what is being done is there are certain penalties imposed for violation of rules with fines and prescribed various offences. See, same cheez ho rahi hai. There was a opposition when Hindi was being imposed in the states down south. So it's not just about Hindi, it's about their culture altogether, their language altogether. They are not even ready to get imposed with Kannada as a language when they are Tulu or Kodava speaking people. Now important इसमें जो एक कमेटी का नाम आता है, that is S.R. Banurmath committee. ठीक है. Now in a bid to give legal framework a teeth and to various rules and regulation about the whole Kannada supremacy thing, this particular committee submitted this report. Report was of draft of the Kannada language comprehensive development bill to the government, and ultimately this will be put to the legislature soon, and we will see how furthermore developments take place during this period. What activists say about this is, let's see point of contention kya hai. Tulu and Kodava language activists, they have termed the bill threat to minority languages. Again cultural जो आपकी identity है उस पे as a infringement इसको देखा जा रहा है. They have sought that various dialects spoken within Karnataka should get protection under the ambit of the bill, right? So not just Kannada but various languages that are spoken under Kannada. See, Tulu and Kodava, they do not have their distinct lipis, right? Distinct जो उनकी literature है, sorry not literature, the writing practice, they are written in Kannada, but there is a basic difference between Tulu and Kodava and Kannada. So Kannada cannot be superimposed on the other parts of the languages. Now also various organizations representing Kodava and Tulu languages in Kodagu and your coastal Karnataka regions, they are actually preparing for legal battle. Let's see कैसे evolve होता है आगे का पूरा process. Now Tulu organizations, they have already been protesting against it, and languages से related Indian Constitution of India में there is a very important section called 8th schedule of the Constitution. So Tulu speakers have been demanding for very long to include Tulu in the 8th schedule of the Constitution. Now state government has brought this bill which has endangered their this demand altogether, and यहाँ पे और issue निकल के आ रहा है. If we talk about administrative languages, according to States Reorganization Act of 1956, your Kodava and Tulu languages, ठीक है, they were used for administration, they were used as a part of administration in their respective regions, but अभी Kannada को superimpose करा जा रहा है. This bill only gives importance to Kannada and to use English for administrative purposes like communication with the union government or courts etc. But there is no mention of these two languages. State government is preparing a bill to legislate. Now let's see how it will proceed, how it will pan out. बेसिक जो यहाँ पे थ्रेड देखा जा रहा है, इट इज सेड दैट ऑलरेडी यूनेस्को हैज डिक्लेयर्ड द लैंग्वेज टू बी वन ऑफ द लैंग्वेजेस टू बी एंडेंजर्ड. It is being seen as this might actually bring the language on the verge of extinction altogether. So that is the basic concern here, right? Now let's get to your third topic of the day. Your third topic of the day is one nation one police reform. So recently a Chintan Shivir was organized. Chintan Shivir was organized, which was the brainstorming session where state home ministers and top police officers sat together and discussed about the security issues and various other important aspects of security that were worrisome and where important decisions are pending and government has to decide. For example, one of them is AFSPA, one of them is hate speech, one of them is fake news, one of them is IT regulations related to security. So a couple of topics are there जहाँ पे इसके ऊपर discussion हुआ. Also here the idea of one nation one police uniform was promoted, was pushed, and Prime Minister has actually pushed for it, that it is going to bring a uniformity in all the states. See, basically what is the color of police that you usually see? The color of the uniform of the police, it is usually khaki, but there are some states, for example, if you see West Bengal, the police in Kolkata, they wear white uniforms. Okay, the police ki uniform is of white colored. So similarly there are n number of states where police ka uniform is alag. Also there are police officer, top police officials who do not wear uniform to their offices altogether once they reach at the peak in their careers, right? So this is seen as infringement, and dono cases mein the government has been pushing for uniformity in the police uniform. Now here why the uniformity will be better? Because it will reduce the burden on the state exchequers. Also it is going to bring homogeneity in the country. What are the other topics that were discussed in the Chintan Shivir? So terrorism and Naxalism were discussed. So this whole red corridor area, okay, this was discussed. Then Nagaland has been appealing, and it was concluded that AFSPA would, Armed Forces Special Act, would be very soon removed from Nagaland, more areas in Nagaland in the future, and the whole issue of fake news which have been spreading unrest in the country, causing chaos and riots in the country, that will be addressed, and more reforms will be brought together to keep these things in check. Now police, as you all know, it is a state subject, and every state government regulates its own police except the union territories. Now issue, if we talk about issue of police uniforms, while police personnel in India are often associated with khaki, as I already told you, their uniforms vary in different degrees in different regions. Since state governments and even the individuals, they by force cannot decide the uniform, there needs to be a proper regulation for it, which is being pushed here. Now Naxalism की बात आई है. I have already discussed Naxalism, red corridor वाला area very detail in your internal security topics, but thoda sa let me shed some light on this. So there are a couple of government initiatives which have been in place for tackling your left wing extremism. So there were initiatives, operations which were led by CRPF, Central Reserved Police Forces. CRPF has launched a couple of operations which are known as Operation Octopus, Operation Double Bull, Operation Thunderstorm, and Operation Chakarbandha. ठीक है. So prelims में direct question, you might find a direct question, which of the agencies has carried out these operations, या name देके they can ask about which sector is it related to. So you must keep on jotting down points and making your prelims and mains notes separately, right? Basically these operations were carried out in the districts of Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh. Then there has been Operation Samadhan या फिर Samadhan Doctrine, जिसका abbreviations means like smart leadership, aggressive strategy, motivation and training, then actionable intelligence, dashboard based KPIs. KPIs are key performance indicators and KRAs, key result areas. Then we need to harness the latest technology. There needs to be an action plan for each theatre and no access to financing जो आपकी black money regulate होती है, which actually feeds this whole notorious areas that needs to be stopped. ठीक है, चिंतन शिविर में these things were discussed. There is a very huge possibility the government of India might push for one uniform for all the police personnel, and as soon as there are more developments in this area, we'll discuss this topic again. ठीक है, your fourth and last topic for today is about Shyam Saran Negi ji. Recently he passed away, may his soul rest in peace. So he was India's oldest voter and he died on 5th November at his home at Kalpa in Himachal Pradesh, right? So he was basically a teacher and he was the last, he recently casted his vote a couple of days ago, right? He was Election Commission's brand ambassador and he voted for a Himachal Pradesh assembly election through a postal ballot. Specially, a election commissioner went to his home and there was a whole ceremony that was done in his commemoration, ठीक है, just to honor him. And he was basically a teacher and he has taught a lot of people and he has never ever missed even a single election. Voting even in a single election. He has been an ardent supporter of democracy and it was the last vote of a man who was 31 when India gained its independence. So we have lost one of the legends. His cremation was conducted day before yesterday and there was a full salute of state honors, ठीक है, there was a 9-gun salute for him and Himachal has lost one of its gem and let's hope may his soul rest in peace. I hope the topics for today are clear to all of you guys. If you have any if you guys have any doubts, please mention them in comments and Vaibhav, I'll address your issues. So you're saying demo classes का link open नहीं होता है and suggest something so I can attend these classes and enroll. See Vaibhav, description box में there are contact numbers so you can call upon them and you can address your issue. So these people, the technical people, they will help you out in a proper way, ठीक है. So if you have any other doubt you can mention it in comments. We'll try taking up it in next session, ठीक है. Where can I post answers? Ansh, you can post the answers on our website. Website का link नीचे आपको description box में मिल जाएगा. Write your answer, click a picture or you can post it there or you can copy paste your answer. If you're typing your answer, you can copy paste it and post it on our website. ठीक है? Okay, welcome. So that's all for today. Stay tuned and keep learning, keep watching. We'll meet on Monday again. Bye bye.